This Chat with the Experts is brought to you by Angie's List on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List. We're here today with Tony the Concrete Man Johnson, and he's filling us in on how to install a concrete driveway and what things you should be considering if you're thinking about putting one in your home. We talked a little bit about different types of driveways that are available, but for a moment here, I want to focus in on concrete and some of the more, I guess, technical aspects of the job. Where do joints come into play in this whole process as you're installing a concrete driveway, and what is their purpose?
Joints placed properly give the concrete a place to relieve stress. The joints are real important because pouring out a concrete slab and then placing weight upon it, it tends to just stress itself out. So we place the concrete joints accordingly to a pattern that's sufficient for the weight that's going to be distributed.
Okay. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we did a show on installing a pool in your backyard, and they talked about, in that situation, you're having big pieces of equipment roll into your backyard to start doing the excavation process back there. And one thing they tell people is beware as some of these big pieces of machinery roll over your driveway. There's a chance that it could crack. And I wanted to ask about what kind of weight this driveway is going to be able to support. And is that something that people should be aware of like, hey, don't roll a big piece of machinery across this? I mean, what should people know about how much weight it can actually support?
That's always a question that's brought up to us. Most driveways, again, we say that residential driveways are 4 inches thick, and that driveway would be very supportive of a compact car, regular car, as well as a pickup truck. Depending on the size of the vehicle, the thicker the concrete should be, as well as the base itself. You cannot just go and place a RV on a 4-inch driveway for longevity and expect a good product to last.
Sure. Yeah, it's something, just another thing on the list there to be aware of as you're thinking about all the different aspects and angles of it. I want to talk about sealants for a moment, too. That's something that if you're doing research right now about looking up getting a concrete driveway installed, you're going to see a lot of that. Is sealing the driveway necessary?
It's necessary for the longevity of your product and the protection of the product itself. What we usually recommend when we do a sealer job, we say that we use an analogy of a Rain-X to your car window.
Okay. As
you can see how that Rain-X actually adheres to the car window to stop the rain from actually staying on it. It's the same thing with the concrete driveway. Once that sealant is placed upon it, it allows the wear and tear of a said product to just wash away without properly sinking into it and causing future damage.
Okay. Is that something that you just need to do once after you install the driveway, or is that like a regular maintenance thing that you're going to do?
Yeah, basically depending on the wear and tear or maybe the oncoming street that you're approaching, getting to your driveway. If there's like a gravel driveway and then your driveway is concrete, you're bringing in a lot of extra rocks and so forth up under your tires. And then in that case, we recommend that you probably try to seal it maybe twice a year.
Okay.
Or maybe every other year, basically, to feel good about the product itself for low maintenance cost.
Right. Is that something that you provide in addition to the installation as sealing as
yes,
well? Okay.
Yes. You can call us back because we know what product we use from the first time instead of having other guys come out and mix a product that's not good for the job itself.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing to know. I guess if we had to pick the number one most common thing that people are going to worry about with the concrete driveway, it's a crack. How can you actually avoid cracks showing up in your driveway once you have it installed?
Well, there's two things we say about concrete. We know it gets hard and it cracks. Again, back to the proper stressed joints, that helps prevent cracks, but concrete does crack. And a lot of times we get vehicles that may pull up on a driveway that's not really aware of the sufficient weight distribution, or running off the edge of the concrete numerous times, and we look at cracks.
Okay. So once a crack appears, is there anything that can be done about it? What happens at that point?
Yeah, we have products that we take care of cracks with. A lot of times we can open up the crack a little bit more by placing a saw cut to it and adhering different products to it, such as different epoxies that we would put in there, different fillers that would sustain it with durability, with the proper weight distribution that's allowed for it.
Yeah.
Actually, these products that we use now are stronger than the concrete itself, giving it more of a bonding agent.
Now, is this something that I guess I'm guessing a lot of people have these sorts of questions up front, or that are people thinking about cracks already when they're getting that new driveway installed, or is that something that's not even on their mind? They're assuming like it's way down the road.
No, they bring that up all the time. What if it cracks?
Yeah.
I say, well, if it cracks, call us back. We'll take a look at it. We'll evaluate it, and then we'll see if it's necessary for us to make immediate decisions to remove that crack area, or just go ahead and put a filler over the top of it. Usually, if it's not heaving up to 1/8 of an inch or separating within 1/8 of an inch, it's okay. Concrete is going to crack, but it hasn't done the damage to where it needs to be replaced yet.
Right. Well, in addition to driveways, that's obviously a big part of our discussion today, but you do a lot of other concrete work as well. And so we want to talk about some of those jobs and what people might want to be thinking about. I wanted to ask you about stamped concrete. What is this? What are the benefits and the cost associated with it?
Decorative. People like the look. They like to feel that it's impressive, and stamped concrete gives it that actual look. It's beautiful. There's designs that we can put into it to where you can have stone look, you can have a slate look, cobblestone, different looks that can match your actual house to make it look like it was just poured in one.
So what kind of areas around the home are you doing a stamped concrete job, for example?
We can go anywhere from stamped sidewalk, patios, driveways, borders going down the side of a driveway is a good offset to where it brings the driveway and the beauty of the lookout as well.
Okay. Now, is that something that you've had to learn along the way? Because I imagine that almost seems like the advanced level of concrete is doing something like the decorative designs and whatnot.
That would be a step above right now. As you get into the decorative, it's a stage above and a little bit more of a cost to the homeowner itself, but well worth it to us as the contractor.
Yeah.
We say the stamp is like the king of the concrete.
Right.
And it feels good when you get a call for a stamp product job. It just, once you deliver that product and leave that real fancy design, it's just something about it that hits your home.
Yeah. I think something that I discovered as I was kind of doing some research for the show and we were having our initial conversations, it might be something in the back of a lot of people's mind. Oh, I need to get part of my sidewalk replaced or driveway. Anybody can pour concrete. But that's just really not the case with this. And as we've already discussed, there's all different levels of the kind of concrete job that you're going to get done. As the contractor, what would you advise someone as they're going to hire somebody? What questions should they be asking? What should they be looking for in their contractor that's going to do the concrete job?
Well, you want to look and ask the question about their license, bond, and insurance. That's pretty great thing to do right now. Check their background, references, testimonies on what they've done, and how they done the job itself. If not, even go look at a few of their jobs to witness the fact, and they shouldn't have a problem. The contractor shouldn't have a problem with you talking to that actual homeowner and using them for a reference about this product.
Yeah. On the show, regardless of the topic, the hiring process is always an aspect of it that we go into. I would imagine that there's guys doing concrete out there that maybe go in, do the job, and then boom, they're gone, and something happens and you're not able to get a hold of them. Is that something that you see other contractors doing?
Yeah, they don't have a follow-up technique. We've been so good at what we do and blessed at what we do that we can actually stop back and talk with the homeowners and have a great conversation and walk through the concrete and continue to check on things. We have a great relationship with our customers. Sometimes we just get in there and they feed us, and nothing like a customer feeding you where you go, and and it makes you feel good, and it gives you every bit of reason to want to come back and look at the product itself.
Yeah, that's and that's another thing that we do talk about on the show is the whole relationship aspect of it. It seems like there should be some sort of click that you have with your contractor, and if something's not feeling right, that may be something to consider along with things like reviews and making sure they're licensed and bonded and insured. So it sounds like the relationship part of it's very big for the jobs that you do. So
yes, it is, and you want to feel good about the job itself. You want to feel good about going into the job as well as meeting a homeowner.
Right.
As far as accepting this job, is it a challenge to you, or is it something you've done before, and not getting yourself over your head with the job just because they're ready to sign?
Right. All right. Well, it is time for us to take another quick break here, but we will return. That's a concrete truth. When we come back, we'll give you a little insight as to what's trending and answer some of your listener questions. Don't go away. You're listening to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List.